first question they asked me in my interview at Comcast was, tell us what you know about BGP. I told them I can spell it. I know what it stands for, but unfortunately I didn't learn it. So for those that don't know BGP, Kev, Jeff, what is BGP? What problem does it solve? And why did those two guys in 1989 draw it up on two napkins?
Put it on the napkin? Well, so I think it's funny, first of all, that you were picking on Russ, because Russ calls BGP the trash can of the internet, because whenever we have a problem we can't solve, we stuff it into BGP. Because Russ is an ISIS guy. He loves ISIS, and I'll let him come on here and defend himself, but we've had that conversation enough that I think I can throw that out there. But yeah, so BGP was the successor to EGP, if we're going to go way back into the dark history of the internet, to connect autonomous systems. And I think you and I talked about this a little bit, Andy, because autonomous systems, I think for modern networkers and networkers that are just getting into network engineering, they only think about autonomous systems as it relates to BGP. But other routing protocols talk about autonomous systems if you read the RFCs, because back when they were all being created, it just meant a routing domain that, usually that you manage, maybe you didn't manage. It was just a collection of routers in an administrative domain. And so BGP was designed to connect those autonomous systems together over the internet, or what became the internet. It was EGP at first, then it became BGP. But that's where we started using BGP, is we needed a way to connect all of these different networks together, and that formed the early foundations of the internet. Now we've ended up using it for everything under the sun, not just the internet, or not just connecting external autonomous systems together, but it was a protocol that cared more about policy. And that's when you hear people talk about BGP, the Border Gateway Protocol, or the Bridging Gap Protocol, if you follow social media, and that one outage we had a few years ago where some news media outlet called it the Bridging Gap Protocol. And that was a BGP inside joke for forever. Border Gateway Protocol fundamentally is a policy protocol that you can use to implement policy in exchanging routes. And you contrast that to an IGP like OSPF or ISIS or EIGRP. They're very much topology protocols. They care about every link. They care about every path. They care about everything down to the most minute detail of how you get there and what links you get there. And BGP is the honey badger of topologies. It doesn't care. It just wants to get to its peer. It doesn't care how it gets there. And so people can try to turn BGP into a topology protocol. There's designs like that. But at the end of the day, BGP is the policy that can best, the protocol that can best deal with implementing policy in exchanging routes between networks. That's its strength, and that's what it does. That's what we use it for.
When you say policy, I think route filtering, which IGPs can do well.